Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was a woman who had a child of crawling age. She lived in a village with her husband, and it was summer. Because this was their first child, she had no one that could babysit for her, play with the baby while she went to the field to weed. All her neighbors who had children or relatives or little sisters who could look after their children were weeding their fields. Her husband couldn't help her because he took the family's animals out to pasture and hunt with other men. So taking care of the baby and weeding the fields was left to her. As summer progressed, the weeds were multiplying. Their crops were hidden in nothing but weeds. What could she do? So one day as she was walking at the edge of a field, there was a hill, and she saw a hamster playing on the rocks. The hamster would go up the rock and down the rock and inside the cave, up the rock, down the rock and inside the cave. And she had an idea. She went to the hamster and said, "Hamster, hamster, can you help me look after my baby?" And hamster said, "Mother, if I look after your baby, what will you give me?" And the lady said, "Well, if you look after my baby and play with him all day while I'm weeding in the field, I will give you treats. All the leftover porridge and other yummy things that I make for the baby, I will give them to you." And the hamster said, "Are you sure? Because humans tend to lie. Are you not going to use me to look after your baby, and once I've done all the work, you're just going to not give me any food and run away?" And the lady said, "Oh no, me? I would never do that. I am as trustworthy as the day is long." And hamster came around and looked at the baby and said, "Hello, baby. Hello, baby." And the baby smiled. The baby was beautiful. He was a beautiful little boy. And hamster instantly fell in love with the baby and said, "Well, you are in luck. I happen to love beautiful babies who smile. I also like treats. So if you give me monkey orange porridge and any other treats that the baby doesn't finish, I'll look after your baby. So when do we start?" And the mother said, "How about tomorrow?" And hamster said, "How do I know that you've come?" And she said, "I'll sing a song. When I come, I'll sing the song. Chimbira, jakati jakaja, chimbira, chakajramadeko, chimbira, jakati jakaja, chimbira, chakajramadeko, chimbira, jakati jakaja, chimbira, chakajramadeko." When you hear that song, you come in to get the baby. So as agreed, the next morning came. The lady came and she fed her son some porridge. And then she called the hamster and she sang, "Chimbira, jakati jakaja, chimbira, chakajramadeko, chimbira, jakati jakaja, chimbira, chakajramadeko." And the hamster came, he sat down, he ate his favorite porridge, and he took the baby and went to the hill to play. The baby was a happy baby. The hamster took him up the rock, down the rock, and into the cave. And when the baby was thirsty, the hamster took him to the river and gave him some water. He took him to the forest. He got him some berries and crushed them and fed him. Oh, the baby was happy. The hamster was happy. So the hamster brought the baby back to the mother around sunset, and the mother saying again, "Chimbira, jakati jakaja, chimbira, chakajramadeko, chimbira, jakajakaja." The hamster brought back the baby. Everything was good, and the next day and the next day. And as soon as the lady had someone to look after the baby, she had time to weed her field, And she weeded and she weeded. And her field just got better, and she was outdoing all the neighbors who had laughed at her. And the women looked at her and said, "Look at her go. And she has no one to look after the baby for her. We all should learn from her." And when her husband came home, she had made dinner. The baby was bathed and happy. But as the days went on, and the lady had more time, she got carried away by doing her work. So she started forgetting preparing enough porridge for the hamster. And she was just preparing just enough for the baby. So the first few days, the hamster just washed, and the mother said, "Oh, I'm sorry, hamster. I didn't make enough porridge. I got home late. I got carried away weeding." It happened again, it happened again, and it happened again. And then the hamster got angry. He said to himself, "I am going to teach this lady a lesson." So on that day, he came. And the lady sang, and he took his baby, and he went up the mountain. He took the baby up the rock and down the rock and inside the cave and round the cave, and took him out to drink water and fed him berries and other fruit he could find. When sunset came, the mother went to the edge of the field and started singing again, "Chimbira, jaka jaka ja, chimbira, jaka dramadeko, chimbira." Nothing. Oh, the lady was scared. She changed the song. She said, "Let me sing a different song." Naika chimbira kaiwe samanyemba. Jeff. Naiwe chimbira kaiwe samanyemba. Jeff. Honaka suaravira samanyemba. Jeff. Kona huyane mwana samanyemba. Jeff. And then the hamster that had been listening to the song where the mother was saying to him, "Hamster, hamster, please bring the baby. Look, the sun is already set a long time ago. Please bring the baby." And then the hamster responded, "Aiwere kaindi mborera samanyemba." And he was telling the mother, said, "Oh, it's all right. I'll look after him for a little bit so you have enough time to do all your work." She sang, and as the hamster was responding, he was climbing up, and up into the mountain, further and further away. So the lady said, "What shall I do?" She went into the field and picked up a giant melon, strapped the melon to her back, and went home. Now her husband was a very nice father. He used to bring little bird meat and grasshoppers and other little treats for his son. And he said to his wife, "Mother, what happened to the baby tonight? How come he is not crawling and playing like he usually does? I have his treats here." And the mother said, "Well, I think he has a cold, so he went to bed early." The father said, "Can't you wake him? Can you not let me see him?" The mother said, "You should. No, you should learn to let sleeping babies lie. You can see him tomorrow." The father just accepted it and decided to go to sleep. Okay, goes to sleep. Tomorrow he wakes up in the morning. He goes heading his cattle, and then the mother runs to the edge of the field. "Chimbira, jakat jakaja, chimbira, jakat ramadeko." The hamster does not respond. Then changes, "Naika chimbira kaiwe samanyemba jenje. Anzi uyane mwana samanyemba jenje." And the hamster responded again, "Aiware gaindi mborera samanyemba jenje." He's telling your mother, "I am going to look after the baby. You do all the work that you needed to do that made it impossible for you to give me the treats that you promised." She works. It's sunset again. She takes the melon again, straps it to her back, and goes home. Once again, her husband says, "It's 2 days. I have not seen the baby. Please wake him. Let me see him." Say, "But I told you he has a cold." And the husband says, "Oh no." So he decides to go and wake the baby. He picks the bundle up and then boom! The melon falls to the floor and cracks into 2 pieces. And the husband says, "What is this? What is going on, mother? What happened to the baby?" And then the mother starts crying. "I'm so sorry. I asked the hamster to look after the baby, but I forgot to give him treats. So he took the baby deep into the mountain all the way up." And the father said, "Okay, stop crying. Now we need to get the baby back." So the father went up the mountain looking for the hamster. He didn't sing any of the songs that mother used to sing until he came upon the hamster and said, "Ahoy, Mr. Hamster, what a beautiful baby you have over there." And the hamster said, "I know, isn't my baby beautiful? Just look at the way he smiles, and he's the sweetest baby ever. I give him water, I give him fruits, I give him berries, and he's just as happy can be." And the father said, "How would you like to come down to the village for a party?" He says, "Party? Party? Are there going to be a lot of people?" And the father said, "Yes, there are going to be a lot of people." And he said, "Oh, yes, I will come. I want people to see my beautiful baby and how he smiles." And the father said, "That is good. So 7 days from today, we will have a party in the village at this house at the edge of the village. Can you come?" And the hamster said yes. So in 7 days, the beer was ready. They slaughtered a cow. They had all kinds of food, chicken, any food you can think of. So hamster came down the mountain with his baby. And when he came to the party, everyone said the mother needs to hide so hamster doesn't know that he's being tricked. And all the other people that were at the party were told not to tell hamster that this was the baby's home. Hamster was given food and he ate. And while he was eating, other people said, Mr. Hamster, can we hold your baby for you?" And hamster said, "Oh, no, my baby does not like strangers, but you can just look at him. Isn't he beautiful? He's the most beautiful baby in the whole wide world." And then they gave him some mahewu to drink, and they said, "Well, while you're drinking, can we hold your baby for you?" He says, "Oh, no. My baby will fret if I give him to anybody else." And then somebody told the father, said, they sang a song, which was called, and the song said, "Shara shara ipedoro, tsungununu ipenyemba." And so they were telling the father to give the hamster some beer. So they said, "Hamster, would you like to try this very nice brew?" Hamster said yes. And so they gave hamster some beer. Hamster drank the beer, but he didn't put his baby down. He drank the first cup, he drank the second cup, and on the third cup, he was drunk. And then he began to doze, and then boom, he fell asleep. And then the baby crawled away, and the people picked the baby and gave it to its mother in another room. And then once they had the baby, they said, "Now you should wake the hamster." And so they sang the song, "Naika Chimbira-English, samanyemba." Hamster woke up and said, my baby, have you seen my baby?" Everybody said, "No, we're sorry. We have not seen your baby, but if we find him, we'll also look after him for a little bit and then we'll give him to you. I think you should be going home now." So hamster ran back into the mountain and spent the rest of his life just looking for his lost baby. And the mother and the baby lived happily ever after.